Hold on, let go. The paradox of greatness. I recently had the privilege of sitting down with Yolitha Howard, a true visionary whose work has transformed thousands of lives through her revolutionary philosophy of intentional preservation and strategic release. Her approach isn't just changing individual lives, it's reshaping how we understand human potential itself. What struck me most about our conversation wasn't just her profound wisdom, but how she's created a blueprint for greatness that challenges everything we think we know about success and fulfillment. Have you ever noticed how we're constantly bombarded with contradictory advice? Never give up, but also learn to let go. Stay true to yourself, but also reinvent yourself completely. Hold tight to your dreams, but also release your expectations. It's enough to make anyone's head spin, isn't it? I remember sitting across from Yolitha Howard, watching her eyes light up with that rare combination of wisdom and wonder as she explained her philosophy. The secret, she said, leaning forward slightly, isn't choosing between holding on or letting go. It's knowing exactly when to do each. That's what I want to explore with you today. This delicate, intricate dance between preservation and release that Yolitha Howard has mastered so beautifully. This paradox that, when truly understood, unlocks a pathway to greatness most of us never even consider possible. Think about it for a moment. We're all carrying things, some visible, some invisible, dreams, wounds, beliefs, expectations, relationships, and the weight of it all can be utterly exhausting. But what if the path forward isn't about carrying more or dropping everything? What if it's about being strategic, intentional, even artistic with what we preserve and what we release? Let me tell you about KJ Miller and Amanda E. Johnson, two brilliant Black women navigating corporate America who kept running into the same frustrating problem. They couldn't find nude lipsticks that actually looked nude on their skin. Now, most people would just sigh and move on, maybe complain to friend over brunch, file it under things that aren't fair, but what can you do? But these women saw something worth preserving, their vision of beauty that included everyone, not just some, everyone. They left stable, prestigious corporate jobs to found Minted Cosmetics. And let me tell you, the beauty industry did not exactly roll out the red carpet. They faced skepticism at every turn. Is there really a market for cosmetics specifically for women of color? Investors would ask, somehow missing the millions of women standing right in front of them. But here's where it gets fascinating. While KJ and Amanda preserved their vision with fierce determination, they also had to let go. Let go of the security of their corporate jobs. Let go of traditional funding paths when doors kept closing. Let go of industry wisdom that said their idea wouldn't work. They bootstrapped, they researched, they built community. And today, Minted is a multi-million-dollar brand in Target and Ulta beauty stores nationwide. They secured $9 million in venture capital and have shifted the entire beauty industry toward greater inclusivity. This is precisely what Jolitha Howard emphasized in our conversation. Greatness lives in this tension, this dance between holding on and letting go. But it's not just about business. This paradox shapes culture, technology, representation, and our collective future. Consider Kimberly Bryant. As an electrical engineer, she knew what it felt like to be the only one in the room, the only woman, the only Black person. When her daughter showed interest in computer programming, Bryant saw history about to repeat itself. But instead of accepting that reality, she decided to preserve opportunity while letting go of dependence on traditional systems that weren't designed for her daughter in the first place. She founded Black Girls Code with a mission to introduce programming to girls from underrepresented communities. The established tech organizations, not exactly rushing to help. The cultural bias against girls in STEM, deeply entrenched. But Bryant preserved her vision by building grassroots partnerships with schools and churches while letting go of the need for traditional gatekeepers' approval. Today, Black Girls Code has taught coding skills to over 30,000 girls globally. Bryant has been recognized as a CNN hero, expanded into multiple cities, and fundamentally changed perceptions about who belongs in tech. As Yolitha Howard pointed out during our interview, when you're clear about your purpose, you know exactly what to hold sacred and what to release. But perhaps the most powerful example of this paradox comes from the entertainment industry, where authenticity is constantly under siege. Issa Rae was told repeatedly there was no audience for her voice, for stories about regular Black women just living life, not trauma narratives, not stereotypes, just authentic experiences. She started with a YouTube web series, Awkward Black Girl, made on a shoestring budget. Hollywood wasn't interested, but Ray preserved her commitment to authentic storytelling while letting go of external expectations about what successful content should look like. The result? Insecure, an HBO series that ran for 5 acclaimed seasons, earned Emmy nominations, launched careers, and redefined possibilities for creators from marginalized backgrounds. Ray has since appeared on the cover of Time magazine, been named to Forbes 30 Under 30, and secured multi platform deals, enabling more diverse storytelling across media. During my conversation with Yolitha Howard, she leaned forward and said something I'll never forget. Greatness isn't about perfection, it's about precision, knowing exactly what deserves your grip and what deserves your release. This is the wisdom we're rarely taught. We're told to hustle harder, push through, never quit, or alternatively, to let go of attachments, release expectations, surrender control. But what if greatness lives in the nuanced space between these extremes? What if the most powerful question isn't, should I hold on or let go, but rather, what specifically should I preserve and what specifically should I release? I see people struggling with this every day, holding on to toxic relationships because they've invested years, clinging to career paths that drain their spirit because they've invested education, preserving limiting beliefs while releasing dreams that could transform their lives. We've got it backward. Yolitha Howard's philosophy challenges us to be intentional about what we preserve, our authentic self when the world wants us to conform, our cultural heritage when society pushes assimilation, our core values when tempted by shortcuts, our vision when others can't see it, and equally intentional about what we release, perfectionism that keeps us paralyzed, relationships that consistently diminish us, others' definitions of success, the need for universal approval. This isn't easy. Our brains are wired for consistency, not paradox. We want clear, simple rules, hold on or let go. But greatness doesn't emerge from simplistic thinking. I'm reminded of something Yolitha Howard shared about her own journey. She described a moment when she realized she'd been preserving her fears while releasing her dreams, exactly the opposite of what would serve her greatness. That's the trap many of us fall into. We hold on to the very things that limit us while letting go of what would liberate us. So, how do we apply this wisdom? How do we master this paradox in our own lives? First, we need clarity about our core values. Without this foundation, we'll preserve and release based on convenience, fear, or external pressure rather than purpose. Second, we need courage, the courage to preserve what matters when it would be easier to conform, and the courage to release what's familiar when it no longer serves our growth. Third, we need community people who understand this paradox and can help us see when we're holding on or letting go for the wrong reasons. As these remarkable women have shown us, there's immense power in preserving your authentic vision while releasing the limitations others try to impose. Their journeys remind us that greatness isn't about having it all figured out. It's about being willing to stand in the tension between holding on and letting go, making conscious choices rather than defaulting to the habits. So I challenge you today, look at your life with new eyes. What are you preserving that no longer serves you? What dreams have you released that deserve to be reclaimed? What fears are you gripping tightly that should be set free? What values are you compromising that should be held sacred? The path to your greatness isn't written in someone else's playbook. It's found in that sacred personal discernment of what deserves your grip and what deserves your release. When you leave here today, I want you to take one bold action. Identify one thing you've been holding on to that's been weighing you down, a grudge, a limiting belief, an outdated dream, and ceremoniously let it go. Write it down and burn it. Delete that contact. Have that difficult conversation. And then, with equal intention, identify one thing you've let slip away that deserves to be reclaimed, a creative passion, a boundary, a part of yourself you've hidden, and take one concrete step to bring it back into your life. Because greatness isn't found in extremes, it's found in that sacred space where you hold on to what matters most while releasing what holds you back. This is your moment to redefine what greatness means for you, not by carrying everything or dropping everything, but by mastering the profound art of knowing the difference. Thank you